Who's the most famous graffiti artist?
Well, that's hard to say.
There's a lot of
graffiti artists. Like the two on the West Coast that you would always hear about was Hex and what was the other homie? Slick. Hex and Slick. Those were the two baddest motherfuckers here in Los Angeles. There was a lot of other dope dudes. They were very talented, but those guys were probably the most talked about here in Southern California.
Every city, I guess, will have their own, like Chicago, New York, all of them, yeah.
You know who was a part of a graffiti crew, but like actual, like art, not just tagging up, was David Arquette.
Really?
The actor?
He was a part of a crew. He still gets down. Like what he'll do is
puppets. His puppets. You see his puppets?
Well, yeah, he does that. But for a time, he would roll up in a neighborhood and see one of those big green plastic trash bins that people have, and he'd put a piece on them, like beautify the trash.
When he was like a teenager?
No, these days.
Oh, shit.
He'll do that shit these days. Like he's an actual artist.
Yeah.
But those were the two. Back in the day, they were the most popular.
What about in the nation? Who was like the most popular?
Google it, Beery.
That's hard to say because every region has their own.
See, that's what I'm saying. Graffiti artists got slided in because you can name dope ass DJs or dope ass rappers, and people would know the names. It's like graffiti; they got slided somehow in the hip hop because that's part of the elements, right?
They have, yeah, it is. But but like I said, they're like their own.
They take
culture.
pride in that, though.
They're like amongst the graffiti. All the artists, they all know each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's about the notoriety amongst themselves, or if you will, the camaraderie amongst them.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Mm-hmm. My favorite is Ramon.
Yeah, Ramon from Beat Street.
Yeah, he was tight, though. You gotta admit, Ramon.
Everybody say Ramon.
Ramon.
Beat Street.
King of the beat.
Oh, man.
Come on, Ramon was tight, though. You know that.
Yeah, his character was tight. You know who was one of the world-renowned motherfuckers was also Lee Quinones. And also, man, why am I
smoking that forgetful OG?
Also Ramel Z, who was a rapper, but he was also a graffiti artist and who like transitioned
from Wild Style?
Yeah. Who transitioned just into being an artist. Particular, there was Futura.
He's the one that says Cypress Hill, right?
Yes, there's also Futura 2000.
He's dope.
And
OG.
Who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting one more. K-Slay, rest in peace, was also one of those guys.
Really?
Yeah. He like his journey in hip hop started through graph. Then he got into being a DJ and doing all the mixtape shit much later on in years. But yeah, those were a couple of the names. Futura 2000, Lee Quinones. I can't remember what his graph name was, but there was a lot of bad motherfuckers out there.
And then what were Tagger crews in the 90s called? Because I see Concrete.
Tagger crews.
Yeah.
Taggers.
Just like.
They had their own little clique names, but they were just known as taggers. And sometimes tag bangers.
Tag bangers?
Yeah,
tag
because
bangers.
some of them were like guys that, they didn't couldn't be from a neighborhood, but like they took that neighborhood mentality and brought it to this,
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people had beef with some taggers back in the day.
So they were like gangs, but not gangs?
Some of them were mixed up in the shit, and they would bring the heat to their little clique. You know what I mean?
There'd be brawls in the train yards. And like New York, that was what you wanted as a train. You wanted to be able to get the side of a train, like the 80s, inside and outside of the train. Completely covered. So like Jamaica Station, when it goes to the end, there's an actual train yard. That's where they do them when they're stopped and they're parked. And people would fight over the new trains that would come in. They would literally fight to get that first tag on that train.
Yeah.
There'd be brawls.
The white one. Remember if you got the white ones, all the white trains, that was big.
It's because it's brand new real estate.
Yeah, it's like a big old sheet of paper.